everybody, and welcome to today's episode of TableTakes. I'm your host today, Noir. That's me. What's up? We've got a lot of exciting news to bring you about everything in the TTRPG community. Please pardon the smile. Right before we went live, you all missed just the most epic collaboration where we were all singing Aerosmith. I don't want to miss a thing. And we'll tell you why maybe at the end of this. But for now, let's get to the most important part, which is saying hi to everybody that's going to make the show possible today, including Marcus behind the screen. Hey, Marcus. Let's go ahead and start off with Javion. Javion, how you been this week? What's been going on with you, buddy?
Hey, buddy. I've been good. I've been traveling. I'm in Minnesota right now, so it's a little bit different. You can't see the board games behind me this week. But I'm just here coming to see my partner, Danny, and playing a new game that we tried out called Dungeon Party. You've probably seen it. It's basically an RPG game, kind of like in your cookie cutter dice rollers, try to kill the monster and get the treasure, right? But in this one, instead of rolling dice, you have to play quarters by bouncing a coin off the table onto a coaster. So it seems like, okay, I'm sure I could get really good at this pretty quickly, but it is so hard. And it is so exciting when you finally get one to land on to a coaster, because I swear we spent like an hour just practicing over and over again. We couldn't get it to land even once. And you die super quick in this game. Like, all your characters will just be dead. And it's supposed to be a competition, but you also have to help each other. And we just ended up losing every single time we played because we kept taking the treasure for ourselves instead of handing it to anybody who actually needed it. It's kind of fun. I only got the starter set, but if you check it out, I recommend getting the full set if you start playing it, because it comes with all the components that you need. We had to supplement a few things.
Okay. Well, that sounds like it'd be a pretty fun drinking game.
Yeah, it's definitely got a drinking game variant in the rule book too. So you could.
Oh, it does? Okay. Well, anything is a drinking game if you're brave enough, but I like that they included it in the rules.
They encourage you to put drinks on the coasters because the coasters are protected with some sort of plastic material.
All right, what's the name of this game again?
It's called Dungeon Party.
Dungeon Party? Okay, Dungeon Party. I see you. I'm gonna have to cop that. Well, it sounds like you've had a pretty solid week so far. Welcome to the Midwest. I'm in Chicago, gang. But let's check in on our other host. Hey, Banzai, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing really well. I just kind of getting host because guess what? I'm piecing out. I'm going to Spain. I'm going overseas. It's gonna be my first time in this like kind of area, Spain, Portugal area. So it's very exciting for me,
But only temporarily, right?
Only temporarily. So actually, this is just a very elaborate April Fool's Day. I'm just gonna come up and be like, just kidding. I've been telling you guys I'm leaving this whole time, but yeah, no, I'm only gonna be gone for a month. I saved up a lot to do this. Let me tell you. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm very excited. And we're gonna be doing a very long walk called the Camino de Santiago during Holy Week, which is kind of funny. I'm not religious, but I'm doing this very religious pilgrim walk during Holy Week. My mom, whatever case is, my mom's happy. That's all. Mom's happy. She's like, yay, good job for you.
You doing anything else over there in Spain? I mean, you saved a lot, so I'm assuming that partying is included in the.
Mostly just eating. I'm prepared to gain at least 10 pounds on this trip. Yeah,
but then you go walk it right off, though. So I mean, it works out.
I guess. I know it's gonna be fun time and be hanging in with the in-laws and stuff. And I'm finally gonna meet my sister-in-law's fiance. So that's gonna be cool. It's all family trip. Yeah.
Are they coming with you, or are they already in Spain?
Oh no, we're all traveling. They're on East Coast. They're in New York.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be fun. We even though they've been dating for a long time, we still haven't met the girlfriend. So I was like, oh, now they're married. They're gonna get married, so we get to meet.
Yay. That's awesome. I'm happy for you and also jealous. I want to go. All right. I suppose this is where I should tell people about what my week was like. But it was dying to know. I mean, I watched the new Halo episode.
Oh,
that came
yeah.
out.
I
I didn't love it. That was my
Really?
week, y'all. No,
Oh, really? Wow.
Everybody
yeah,
on Facebook I know loved it.
I did not. There's a thing. All our superhero movies and this show, like, just if a character has a helmet or a mask, keep the helmet or the mask on. Like, we've had how many games of Halo where, like, Master Chief, spoiler alert, I guess, whatever. Like, we've had how many games of Halo where we haven't seen this man's face? First episode, pops the helmet off.
Wow.
Didn't love it.
They couldn't at least wait like the Mandalorian, just wait like a couple of episodes, but still people are like, no, leave the helmet on.
Right now. We got to do it right now. It didn't mean anything. It was just like, that's a big moment. And it means nothing. But you want to know what does mean something? Your boy is Kobe with the segues. What does mean something is why don't you tell us what it is?
Me?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, first things first, let's go ahead and say happy birthday, Cobalt Dress. It's their super sweet 16. They're gonna get MTV's gonna come in. They're gonna do all this is my super sweet 16 with all the smiles. I can already imagine it. They're getting their beautiful ball gown dress on and Steph getting their crown.
I'm just imagining a cobalt in a ball ground dress now, and it's my favorite mental image.
All kobolds deserve pretty sparkly dresses, okay? And then they get a freak out, at least one freak out, because like their boyfriend's talking to another girl and they don't like that. And then they're just gonna have a freak out, but then it's gonna be okay because they're like, this is my sweet teens moment. This is my moment when I am becoming an adult.
CW, where is our Cobalt team drama show? We need it.
I would watch that.
I'm telling you, just like Dawson's Creek, but you replace everybody with kobolds. It would be fantastic. It would almost be Radiant. To tell you about some other things.
Sorry, let's talk about our next headline. Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel is a new Dungeons & Dragons official book that's coming out. Thank you for that lead-in.
No problem, I got you.
This D&D adventure collection is particularly interesting to all of us here because it is a historical achievement for WotC. WotC's been around almost 50 years now, and this is the first time where they produced a book that was entirely conceived, created, and written by POCs.
That's what's up.
Yeah, not only was all of the writing done by POCs, but also the project lead, Ajit George, is the first ever POC project lead for a D&D book, period. And the co-art director, Emmy Tanji, I believe. Same thing, first woman of color to take that role on for a D&D book. Marketing lead is Sarah Chan. And it's the first D&D book where the cover art and alt cover art were both created by women of color. Sija, I think, Hong, and Evan Fong. You can find them at EVYN Fong on Twitter. And this is just huge news for WotC, for people who love D&D, especially D&D 5th edition. It's a really cool book as well. We don't have all of the details because a lot of it is still yet to be leaked. It doesn't release until June 21st, so we still have around 2 more months before we can actually dig in. But Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel is a collection of 13 short standalone D&D adventures, which is going to span character levels 1 through 14. And there's 13 adventures, so you can imagine you level up at the end of each adventure, hopefully. Each one has a tie to the Radiant Citadel, which is just a magical city that has connections to lands rich with excitement and danger and, of course, diversity. And each one can be run by itself or as part of an ongoing campaign. So for people like myself who have their own D&D worlds, and sometimes I will plug in a module or an adventure if I'm not feeling like creating something homebrew that day, or if I'm looking for something to spice up the game. You can just start your characters at level 1 or whatever level that they are currently, and then pop the adventure that fits their level up to 14. So it's going to be mid-tier to low-tier level adventure, which is pretty cool. I think most content tends to be that way, and having a lot of space to move around in is really cool as well. The Radiant Citadel is a new location on the ethereal plane that connects adventurers to richly detailed and distinct corners of the D&D multiverse. Each adventure can be set in any D&D campaign setting or on worlds of your own design. It also introduces 11 new D&D monsters. If you take a look at the link that's in chat, you can see one of those creatures featured. It looks kind of like a bat that was sort of mutated from a mouse into a bat. So I think maybe they were taking the phrase a rat with wings to a sort of extreme level, but it's dropping little berries. I can imagine that those are probably like little good berries. I don't know if you know what those are. Those little magic berries that feed you for a whole day. And it looks like a big marketplace on the cover, so it's bound to have a very vibrant culture and lots of storylines that can branch out into different areas. I'm very excited to see what other monsters that they place in, what other cultures that you can visit. It's sure to have a lot of different POC perspectives, a lot of differing sort of ancestries found inside it as well. So I'm really excited to see more of it, especially because, like I was saying, I have my own D&D world, and in it, it's actually very interesting. I sort of made this motif that everybody can be anywhere, right? So you don't have orcs living in the mountains or whatever, or the caves. You don't have dwarves living in like a volcano or something underground. Everybody is kind of everywhere all the time. And diversity is a huge staple of my D&D campaigns. I make sure to mention it in every single adventure. So, even people who are of different ancestries they won't make like half orcs or half elves. They'll just make more people that end up being different races. So I would love, 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 love to be able to add some of these adventures into my campaign, especially because I'm the type of DM that adds in adventurers by themselves at random points, just to toss something new at my characters.
I think there's some agreement there. I don't know if you've all had a chance to take a look at the alt cover of this book, but it is beautiful. It is just one of the most gorgeous looking covers that I've seen for a Wizards book in a very long time, and I'm super duper excited for this to come out. I haven't had a chance to take a look at the quest lines, but I know that I'm totally down for it because of the names of the talent attached to this. TK's on this. We got Serena on this. It's just amazing talent, just putting forth a lot of work. And I always tell people like we want our books to represent the communities that play them. So Wizards has made their move and put out a product like this, and so now it's on us to show them that we'll put our money where our mouth is, and to go and support this. There are a lot of amazing and up and coming designers that put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, and we should reward that. So kudos to Wizards for doing this. I'm glad that it happened.
It needed to happen.
It needed to happen. It's kind of jarring to hear that. It's kind of jarring to hear how many firsts we've got with this, but I'm glad that we've now crossed that line, and this should no longer be an anomaly. This should be just kind of the way things are. And I think that we're going to get to that point, especially if we put our money where our mouth is. So go buy this thing. Do it.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, but also
when it comes out,
with not as many details, we can go ahead and theorize
Yeah.
what is going to be included in this book. So I have taken a look at some of the artists and some of the people that are working on this and some of their cultural backgrounds that may be in there. I'm thinking there's going to be some Thailand inspired flavor things, so maybe some stuff from Iran. Definitely just a lot of various different cultures. I'm very excited to kind of see. And also, hey, WotC has been known to put out more cookbooks and such, and it's just, I'm very excited about these things. And also costuming. I want to see all of these flavors represented. Also, I feel like there's also going to be more of a like American or African American background also featured in this very heavily. So if we can get more like, I'm just so excited. There's just so many cultures that I'm theorizing to be in here, and then just seeing that mixing pot of people. A lot of people might be like, oh, why isn't they just using the Planescape stuff? One, because Planescape is like genres being inserted and conflicting with each other versus cultures that are coming in and sharing experiences and mixing. All right. One is like, of course, Fire Realm is not going to mix with Water Realm because they're literally imported like
well, if
different
they mix,
universes.
they'll make Steam Realm, and that's a
They
problem.
make Steam Realm. Yes, but those are my theories. I want to see some like Thai-based like people and weapons. There's cooler weapons out there that we just need to have. Okay, and if we just go through all these cultures, we can get cooler stuff. All right.
Thank
you.
And what a brilliant notion of making it attached to the ethereal plane, which is just a hop skipping away from the material plane. Everything about this concept is brilliant. And and just one real quick question before we move on. Who do you think has the better food? Like what lineage do you think has the better food?
Ooh.
I have brought this up to so many people, and I maintain that orc food must be fire. I'm sorry. I truly believe that orc food is just like barbecue. It is just succulent.
I imagine tabaxi food is like rodents and vermin and seafood. So I would probably not save them.
I'm down to hang with the dwarves. The dwarves know how to do mixology. Okay,
Yeah.
Dwarves know how to make mixology. They're down.
Dwarves bring the drink to the orc barbecue, and we have a good time.
Yeah. There we go.
Wizards, make this happen. But in order to enjoy all the delectable orc meats, you're gonna have to make sure that your dental is right. So to tell us a little bit about some teeth, Javion, why don't you take it away?
I got a question for you guys. Who doesn't love magical teeth? Dungeons and Dragons Teeth of Dahlver-Nar Bite-Sized Artifact is a collectible item that you can grab. It's around $80 for the collection that comes with a drawstring bag, game rules, and a D20 to help you add a set of magical teeth into your Dungeons and Dragons campaign. So apparently, I'm assuming that these all have different like special abilities. They're kind of like magical artifacts that aren't just for display on your shelf, but they have like magical properties or significance in the game that you're playing in. So I'm curious to know more because there's not a ton of details. But WizKids is also going to release Dungeons and Dragons Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures Adult Green Dragon into retail. So there are some really cool little trinkets that are coming out pretty soon in retail in October this year.
What I would have given to sit in the pitch meeting. Let's make some teeth.
I can imagine because the different teeth are different like creatures' teeth. It's like a collection. So somebody went out and just stole teeth, or rather, went out about their adventures and then just collected the teeth of their fallen foes and like imbued them with magical powers. Like one of them's called the sweet tasting human canine. So I have to wonder if that means like the human tasted sweet, or if the canine tastes sweet if you put it in your mouth, which means somebody had tasty teeth.
I'm thinking more magical components, but okay. I mean, this is like an
Like, but how would you use it though?
You stick it in. You pull out
stick
one of
it in
your
your
teeth, like the hand of Vecna, right? And then you stick the tooth inside, and now everything tastes better.
All I know is that this has given me a reason to petition my GM to let me enchant my teeth. Like,
yeah, that's
I want a molar, a fireball right now.
Yeah, like a warforged, just replacing parts of your body with magical artifacts, so that you're just made of magic. That's awesome.
What? Why? Am I gonna buy it? Maybe, but like, why? I feel like this was a bet. Somebody else just like, I bet you I can make people buy a bunch of teeth. Somebody was like, no, you can't. And then here we are.
Well, I think it's more, it has nostalgia and iconic because you got the box of many things, or box of many things. So they're like, this is another thing that's like, hey, remember this item that we had in the OG kind of books? You want these teeth?
Maybe they're just trying to educate people.
Some of them have some really cool names though, like the yellowed vampire fang, the twisted beholder teeth. Beholders have teeth. Well, that I've learned some stuff today.
Yeah, no, I think you should really just toss your own coin into that kind of meaning, right, Noir?
Well, if we're going to be tossing coins, I think that the best place to toss a coin is to your Witcher. And if you're going to be doing that, then you'll probably want to be one of the people that picks up the Witcher RPG, a Tome of Chaos, a new RPG supplement from our Talisorian. So go ahead and delve deeper into magical studies with the Witcher RPG, a Tome of Chaos. Fans of the Witcher RPG will be, if you're a fan of the Witcher RPG, we've got good news for you. They'll be releasing this new supplement for the 2018 game. And the Witcher RPG, A Tome of Chaos, offers new spells, invocations, rituals, and hexes to use during game sessions. It also features information on magic items, dark rituals, and magical miscellanea. The book expands on the rules of priests, druids, and the gifted professions, and even allows players to explore the dark arts with rules for summoning the spirits of the dead, making deals with demons, and creating mutant monstrosities. It looks to be releasing April 1st, 2022, and it's going to be retailing for $35. It is a good time to be a Witcher fan. 2 seasons of a pretty awesome show. You got a new game on the way using the new Unreal Engine, and now you've got a supplement for this awesome RPG. What about you guys? What are you thinking? You Witcher fans over there?
Yeah, I just saw the second season pretty recently, actually. I think it's cool that they're going to be adding in more rules about the dark arts, because, I mean, I wouldn't say I've played the video game very well. I don't have a beefy PC, so I can't really play much. But at least from the Netflix series, dark arts is bad news. So I can imagine it getting pretty chaotic.
Yeah, no, the Netflix series definitely great. Loved the live action and the cartoon version they did for Witcher. I watched Let's Plays of Witcher because sometimes I rage quit like nobody's business. So, save myself some heartache. But also, the only comment I'm going to make about this is that maybe they should have just waited like a day or maybe a Monday to release this.
Yeah.
They released it on a real bad day. I'm just saying. I don't know if it's that on purpose, but I feel like, yeah, it's a Friday they're releasing it. But they like,
it's April 1st.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know. I've never been on the marketing side of things in terms of like release dates and everything. But can you imagine the uproar? They're like, hey, I know we said we're going to release this April 1st, but... And it's just like a Rickroll link.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes April Fool's jokes can go the other way, where it's just like, hey, remember we said there was only going to be 1 expansion? Surprise, it's going to be like 3. Like, maybe I'm thinking the best. I'll tell Sorian. I'm sure whatever they got in store for us is going to be awesome. Please don't make me look bad. so it's gonna clip that. It's gonna be like, ooh, no, I'm kidding. But speaking of, I don't have a segue, so we're just gonna toss it on.
No. In case there is a big reveal that makes everyone's heart explode, guess what? Cypher System has you handled with First Responder, a new RPG from Monte Games. So if you're not used to like the Cypher System, really great in like role playing first kind of game, I would like to say, that takes a lot of like very easy in terms of like for first time players with the RPG kind of things that don't necessarily want to play with the fantasy base. This Cypher System takes like a lot from all little genres and just like, I will have you, baby, and I will treasure you forever, and eases you into the nerdom. Like, come here into the deep end. But it's nice. There's stairs to this deep end. But they're just going to be releasing First Responders. It's an RPG that focus on real world heroes that are battling floods, pandemics, earthquakes, and other crises. In this game, the players will face actual things that first responders do in real life. Like everybody understand, or like if something like this kind of sounds weird to you, because I know like we had a couple when we were talking about the evening, I for one love being able to play the hero because I know I'm a big wimpo and I faint at the sight of blood. Do not rely on me. That's what I'm saying. But if I can play a game and pretend that I am not somebody who's squeamish on blood and knows how to like put a tourniquet on, that's gonna like, I want that. And plus, like, especially during this pandemic, feeling very useless in some capacities, not being able to like help people who are sick, who are injured, who are like going out there like protesting in ways and seeing the hurt that they get from retaliations and stuff and being like, I wish I was there to help them and put like a band-aid on. This is the game that is for you. It's releasing, by the way, April 6th, 2022. It's 168 pages with a retail price about $44.99, and that is US. Don't know what that is for other countries, but that is US based currency for that one. But yeah, it includes a lot of Yeah, no.
You're going. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
When we first started talking about this during the sort of back behind the scenes, I wasn't sure how to turn this into something like one of my play groups would be able to get into. But once you started describing it, like I can like imagine me like playing out my Grey's Anatomy fantasy of just playing the doctors, but also the firefighters, but also the the technicians in the helicopter grabbing people out of burning buildings and things like that. That actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, well, first off, I want to say very much like the first responders in this game, Banzai saved me from that segue, so thank you. And secondly, I do really appreciate that there is a game that's putting more of a focus on helping people to be a hero than hurting people to be a hero. A lot of the TTRPGs that we play, heroism is shown by slaying a monster of some type or defeating some bad guy. A lot of the times we kind of forget that there are real people out there that are doing heroic deeds, and this is a great way to kind of honor that, and it's a great way to remember that at your table. And so I'm very excited for a TTRPG to show this aspect of heroism, which I feel oftentimes gets a little left behind. Is running into a burning building as cool as casting the fireball that started the burning in the first place? I don't know, but I'm glad that we have that option now.
That's a really good point, Noir. How very wholesome of you.
I have my moments. Don't worry. I'll make you all disappointed in me in probably 2 more stories. But no, I'm really glad that you brought that to our attention, Monte. Thank you so much. In terms of doing what we can to protect each other and to save each other, we now have a way of protecting our planet with Magic the Recycling. Um, WotC is piloting a new recycling program for the packaging of its open booster packs. A selection of WPN's game stores will be receiving special recycling bins from Wizards of the Coast. Players will be able to deposit the plastic wrapping from their open booster packs in the bins. Once the bins are full, they'll be sent off to TerraCycle to recycle or upcycle. The plastic packaging is normally not accepted by recycling centers, and Wizards of the Coast hasn't yet provided the details on how that packaging will be used. But I am very appreciative that now some thought is being put into it. There's a lot of bad in the world, and we can use any modicum of good that we can get, and this is just a little bit of it from our little scene. So I'm very, very excited to be able to report that. You guys have any thoughts?
Oh yeah, we definitely, as like, there is something to be said in the board game industry. I've been noticing, at least more and more recently, that people have been trying to be like, hey, let's go use sustainable board, like, let's print sustainably, especially because COVID and the pandemic made everybody realize that people don't really do paper supplies as much as they used to. They all went to making boxes and stuff instead of like board games and cards. So I think this is a great step. It makes me kind of sad sometimes when you see like those old videos of people like tossing out bags of Pokemon and Magic the Gathering cards and just junking them into the trash versus like, those are recyclable. You can probably do them out of something, And I do like this step forward of, hey, let's try to make things a little bit more sustainable, because right now we don't have any, as much as we love playing Terraforming Mars, we don't have any terraforming capabilities. And we only have one planet so far that we know of that can sustain human life. So, I feel like it's like kind of important, like for our generation to try to do something, especially for us who like to hoard all of the gaming things that do require us to make things out of very limited supply trees, paper, and plastics. So
yeah, I know. I used to work at Card Kingdom, one of the biggest sellers of Magic the Gathering cards, and I heard the stories about all of the millions of random commons and lands that we would get chipped in and had to toss away out of, like, nobody wanted them and not enough inventory space. So this is going to be a great boon for businesses, corporations as well, that are dealing with large quantities of cards and paper that they want to get rid of, but they don't want to put any more stress on the planet than they already have. So we don't have to have our cake without eating it. We can actually eat it too and save the environment while we're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, especially in this hobby, we have plastic everywhere in our board games and our booster packs. Some of the pieces for the games that we play. It's really cool to see that this subject is being brought top of mind. Shout out, second shout out to Wizards. Between this and the Radiant Citadel, I'm okay. We see you. We see you. We see you, Wizards. But yeah, this is a very good initiative, and I hope that it inspires other gaming companies to follow suit. There are a lot of other card makers out there that could probably benefit from following in this regard. So that's a little bit more good added to the world. But I think we should continue the trend of talking about, trying to add some good where good definitely needs to be added. So Banzai, you got anything for us?
Yes, we do. So, hey, as gamers, we unite for various different causes. Like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about the indie, where the Itch bundle that helped trans kids in Texas, and also the Ukraine folks, during basically, yes, it's a war that is going on currently as we speak. So on that, hey, the tabletop industry has really stepped up in terms of their continual reaction to what is happening in Ukraine. So just a quick thing for as the war in Ukraine continues its fourth week, the tabletop industry has continued to extend its support to the people. To begin, For example, one of the bigger things that I want to make note of is that last Wednesday, Games Workshop announced that it will be suspending all sales of Warhammer products to Russia. That is, Russia being one of their bigger sellers for Warhammer. That is a big set because it isn't one of the things that are counted, at least for the United States, of sanctioned products that they are doing against what's going on over there. So that, I think, that's putting your mouth where your money is, like in terms of like, hey, yeah, this is going to be a hit to us. No one's telling us to do it, but we're doing it anyway. So kudos to Games Workshop. Additionally, Free League publisher, Free League, the publishers of Alien RPG and Tales from the Loop, ran a charity sale over the weekend with 50% of all their sales going towards the International Red Cross efforts to basically in Ukraine. And then the biggest effort since the itch bundle that I talked to you about, like that happened last week, is the Modifius founders, Chris and Rita Birch, have launched a new nonprofit called Roll versus Evil, which is raising money in support for Ukraine as its first campaign. This is a new thing that they are launching, Chris and Rita Birch, that they're taking a big step. This Roll versus Evil, this is going to be a charity-based thing that is for us, like nerds who love role-playing games. Chris and Rita have already kicked off by raising the initial $50,000, and their friends Paul and Linda Wedgwood of Supernova Capital have agreed to support the campaign up to $130,000 of matching funds. That is very massive. That's a lot of money. Sorry, I'm just like, that is a lot. One, it will do so much good. It'll help get the aid that the folks need. There are so many people that are just stuck in this unfortunate circumstances. And then this Saturday, actually, as we're mentioning it, March 26th, they're encouraging groups in both in person and online to meet up just to play games with each other and contribute money to this table pot. One of the players that should take all of these. Oh wait, and then basically let's chip in. Let's all game on this Saturday, and then go and donate the money they collect to campaign the Just Giving page. In the addition to the support, a lot of people have rolled in to do this Roll versus Evil. So naming such companies as Mantic Games, Steve Jackson's Games, Gamma, Cubicle 7, Roll20, UK Games Expo, Streamforge Games, and more. There is just so many names on that list of people just wanting to help out other people. And I want to say, when gamers unite,
Yeah. It's been amazing to see the turnaround on some of the work that's been done for this as well. I personally got to see as Danny over at Roll20 has quickly put together an actual play that's donating to this. It's actually happening later today, I think at around 9 over on the Roll20 channel. Turned it around in a week. There was a cause and people stepped up, and this, no matter how tenuous this space gets, when there is a cause to be fought for, I'm always happy to see the TTRPG community stepping up and doing the right thing. So it's great to see that this is something that continues in that vein.
These companies have a really difficult task when deciding how they're going to respond to something that is as world shaking as another war. But I mean, we've already seen how people have stepped up during the pandemic, and it's really good to see which big corporations we can count on to share some of these values. Though I do understand sort of the hesitation with relying on big corporations to do a lot of this work for us instead of more of the people that are doing the thing that they shouldn't be, not taking on that responsibility for themselves. But as long as we're all chipping in, we are all doing this together in our little ways. The everyday people are contributing what they can, but big companies like Modifius and all these other really cool ones are really giving us a lot more hope, and it's a lot more we can look forward to when this calmed down a little bit at the very least, if not completely cured.
Yeah. I just hope that I just hope that we continue to understand that this is something that we know that we can do as a community, and we don't forget that. And whenever we can help, let's take the initiative to help. So that is what I would make law were I king. Sadly, however, I am not king. But we do have the Kickstarter Reach It. Which is as close as one can become to King of the World. And I do believe that Kickstarter Reach It is one Javion.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I like
Noir. Yeah,
I wish I had a crown to give you, bro. I thought I had one.
I can feel the crown. I'll just yes, thank you. All right, yeah, that's much better.
There we go.
Okay, so I've got 2 Kickstarters that I know you guys are going to get excited about because I squealed when I saw this. Many of you know I am a big lover of dice, and there's nothing that excites me more besides dice than dice accessories. So the Kickstarter we have here is called Levitating Dice. It ends on Wednesday, April 20th. And this Kickstarter is all about magnetically floating and functional dice sets. So, Banzai, Noir, I want you to do me a big favor. I want you to close your eyes. Everybody at home in the audience, close your eyes. You too, Marcus, close your eyes. And I'm going to paint a picture for you. You enter a room, eager to start your next session. Your GM is sitting at the table, strumming their fingers, looking smug and grinning maniacally as they call out, "Welcome. I've been waiting for you." And the dice are all charged up. Your eyes turn toward the mahogany base beside the game screen with a solitary D20 hovering and slowly turning in midair with the 20 facing up. Okay, you can open your eyes again. So check out this Kickstarter, and you can see like there are so many really cool ideas they came up with for levitating dice. I actually was at the mall the other day, Mall of America, because it's Minnesota, and they have a bunch of displays of this technology has already been out. But this is the first time we're like, oh yeah, why don't we just do this with dice? So smart. of objects like the Death Star or whatever, spinning around, like sort of hovering with the electromagnetic field that the base creates. You can get a set of full polyhedrals, full set of 7 that all levitate, or you just get a single D20 if you want to cut costs. And it comes with a solo base, or you can get the duo base. You can have 2 dice floating at the same time. The dice that they come with are magnificent, very, very well designed, handcrafted dice that only these dice, I think, are the ones that can work, but you can experiment with your own, I'm sure. These are just crafted specifically to work with this base. So once again, that's going to end pretty soon. You got 25 days. April 20th is when it ends. And the lowest Kickstarter, it's the early bird right now. They only got 14 slots left. It's only $90 just to get the D20 plus the base. It's a really cool Kickstarter. I really think you guys should definitely.
Do you know how intimidating it would be to walk to the table and your DM has a D20 floating and is just staring at you? No, thank you.
All the lights down, wizard hat, just like lit by candles, and it's just floating dice spinning.
Like
around.
This is the tool of your destruction today. Floating.
That would be great for like boss battles. Be like, here, and then they reveal it behind their GM screen, and they're like, "I will push this dice off, and that will be your fate."
Yeah, and you smack the die, and it goes rolling, and just whatever it lands on.
The only thing that this thing needs is like a button to make the dice rise higher, so they don't even have to reach the grab it. It just floats to their hand.
That's so cool. Oh man,
we just want floating things. Give us floating things, please.
Yeah. Imagine having like a glove. You could just like hold like this floating die in your hand and just like toss it at people. That's what VR is for. Okay, so my second dice-based Kickstarter for you is called Pentaquest. So Pentaquest is a print and play solo and multiplayer card and dice game. The reason I wanted to talk about this one because I backed it, but also it is literally, I'm pretty sure, like $2 Kickstarter because you get a PDF that you can print and play. That's what print and play means, obviously. It has 0 setup. Each game only takes about 10 to 20 minutes, and the rules are just as simple as you could imagine them to be. You get 5 6-sided dice. You start your quest and start deciding which missions you want to take on, but really all you're trying to do is basically play Yahtzee. You roll the dice, you're trying to get either combinations of certain numbers of dice, or 2 of a kind, and 3 of a kind, full house, that kind of thing. I mean, everybody's played this game before if you've played Yahtzee, but it comes with the sort of familiar old school feeling and the game flow. They're talking about how it flows really nicely, and you know the abilities that you can use from like discarding cards and stuff like that. It's all creating this really simple and easy to just pull out anytime kind of game. Nerdura Games, the creator for this Kickstarter, has created a bunch of games before, and they're based in Italy. And they're a very tiny game design team. So for $2, I think it's $1, £1 in UK currency, you can support this really cool game. And I mean, like, I've got a printer at home, so it's pretty easy for me. But I know there's a lot of people out there that can, visit like a print shop or whatever and get like custom cards and stuff made. It's a really, really easy, sort of quick, kind of fun game called Pentaquest. So definitely check it out. You got 18 days, and it's going to end on April 13th.
Heck yeah. That would make it my turn, my liege.
Gus, please, by all means.
My brain went blur.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's okay. We're gonna bring it back. I told you in 3 stories I would disappoint us all.
You're fired.
The Kickstarter that I'm bringing for today is one that I've been super amped to talk about, mainly because it's got an amazing team behind it, and I've just been gushing about it ever since I've seen it on Kickstarter, and that's Damos Academy, which also ends April 13th, 2022. Damos Academy is a game about adults returning to face the cursed boarding school that terrified them as children. Players are the adults who must attend a reunion at the school with no clear recollection or memory of what their childhood was like at the school, and they slowly unlock what has been repressed. Players have different character sheets representing their different supernatural abilities that can be used as modifiers for the roles. They also have a set of questions to answer about their characters and the relationships before play. Each player will choose a paper doll that they are interested in playing. These paper dolls can be customized and colored into the liking of to the player's liking. And when players fail rolls, they take a piece of the school uniform, which represents how they are becoming a part of the cursed school. This features coloring, dressing up your figure, and it is just a super, super creative and amazing game. I am going to gush about the team for a second because they're amazing designers, amazing actual players, and you've probably seen them all over your Twitter sphere. It has Austin Taylor, Banana Chan, Amanda Call, Herb Furman, John Merchant, Vidya Volti, Amber Seger, Dare Hickman, Quinn B. Rodriguez, Drake, Nordin Ali, Kadir, and Jeff Frazier. Just an amazing squad, an amazing game. There's still time to back it. Go ahead and do it, because what other RPG lets you do some coloring? It has spooky cursed school elements to it. I'm very excited for this.
They also made the Battle of the Boy Bands game, right? I've actually played that one pretty recently. It's just as silly as you would expect a game about boy bands to be. This is really cool. I've never played with paper dolls before either, so
I haven't either. Like, I definitely want to check this out. Like, I want to play it with y'all. It sounds super creepy. It sounds super creepy.
I don't know if you guys are any good at like coloring books, or I don't know if you're good at artists, but I am definitely not. So coloring book is definitely my speed.
I've been assured that artistic ability is not a requirement, or else I would not be interested. Unless it was stick figures, and then in case I got it on lock. But that is my submission, my liege.
All right. Well, I got some more Kickstarters that I've found for everyone today. So this next one is called Tiny Tome. This is another really cheap Kickstarter. So for the board gamers on a budget, if you want a ton, sorry, I just calmed myself down. If you want a ton of RPG content in a very small package that's really easy to pick up. I mean, if you haven't already checked out the bundle for Ukraine, which you should definitely do, check out the Tiny Tome on Kickstarter. So with this, you get a 50 single-page booklet of RPGs, single-page RPGs from dozens of different creators. You've got RPGs that focus on storytelling, are character-driven. You've got solo RPGs as well as duet RPGs for that one-on-one gameplay. You've got some guided RPGs. You've also got GM-less RPGs and a bunch of really experimental ones that are so cool. I definitely want to tell you about some of the RPGs that you can actually get from these, because again, it's called Tiny Tome because they're all single page. So a lot of the rules are just condensed down into really easy to pick up and play. You could literally just play a bunch of different RPGs every single week for almost like 3 months, and you would never run out of content. Oh man. Okay. So a couple of the RPGs that you can find, there's one called the 5-second rule, where you have to figure out how you would use your superpowers that only last 5 seconds long. So you can only use them 5 seconds long. You have to be as efficient as possible. There's another one called a fool's errand, where you have to warn a monarch of some kind of impending doom and try not to get killed. Try not to get taken away to the stockades for having messaged the monarch about the impending news that they don't want to hear. And then there's one called A Kiss from a Rose, which is exactly what you think it is. It's an RPG about the Seal song A Kiss from a Rose. I have no idea what that's supposed to be, but it sounds really funny. So
oh wait, no! Why'd you put me on camera?
Baby!
Yes, it's probably going to be required that you actually sing the entire song if you know the lyrics like I do. You can get the digital version for only $7, or you can get a print copy, a physical copy that they'll send to you for only $14, and it ends pretty soon. So, man, I mean, like I said, you only got 62 hours before the book's gone. It's probably going to be up on Drive-Thru RPG, but you can only get the physical book if you back the Kickstarter. Okay, moving on. You guys are gonna have to cut me off at the end of this one because
There's so much.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. It's okay, because you want to know why? Comrades! The royalty of Kickstarter has taken too long of their space in terms. It is now our time, ours, of the Indiegogo Nation to come in and wreck this Kickstarter regency coming in here. With that, I'm going to introduce, we're going a little bit rogue today. I'm going to be introducing something from Indiegogo instead of Kickstarter. Ooh, fancy, new stuff. This one is called Yeezy's Bed and Breakfast. I almost was like, these are Yeezy's Bed and Breakfast, but it's not easy. I'm sorry, it's not. But it's Bed and Breakfast, ending April 21st. If a RPG that's like this, let me go ahead and read off this for you. A slice of life, a legacy tabletop role-playing game about a found family and their magical home. Ooh, does that tingle your senses? Because I hope it does. Launched by Possum Creek Games, the folks behind Wander Home, Yeezy's Bed and Breakfast is a fixed, small setting tabletop RPG, loosely inspired by the more modern Saturday morning cartoons. So like Steven Universe and those likes. So if that's kind of like, hey, you want to go ahead and instead of just going G.I. Joe explosions, we're going to actually talk about our feelings and learn and grow as individuals, this game is based off of based on a 500-page 48-chapter book, with each chapters containing 1 to 2 hour scenarios featuring a bed and breakfast itself, and the themes of slice of life fantasy and a queer found family kind of thing, which is like, oh, because as sometimes blood is blood, but the family that you choose is the best. The adventures focus on things like lazy afternoon, fright nights, the insurmountable chores, and zany competitions. Possum Creek Game is also working with digital designers to create a full digital companion game that will allow you to play sessions with your friends all over the world. Ooh, we like accessibility. Thank you very much. This game is very massive of ambition. If you click on this Kickstarter, just click on it. Your money will leave your wallet as soon as you see it onto this link. It is beautiful. The artwork, they got like plushes. Okay, they got plushes. They got books. It is a luxury box they are advertising here with all sorts of fancy props, thematic add-ons. In terms of scope, it feels like a less intimidating version of Monte Cook's Invisible Sun, aka the Black Cube of Doom. Any retailers can tell you how happy they were about that. But yeah, no, it is just the art, everything looks so cozy, and I would totally love to stay in this bed and breakfast. You get a choice between rotating casts and characters, and the characters that call the bed and breakfast their home. It really gives me like lovely vibes, and I'm here for it.
Can I play Parrish? There's a character called Parrish. It says that he was once a gallant knight and he got cursed by a wizard to take the form of a frog. So now he's the bed and breakfast's full-time cook and part-time dad. He's got this little like fishing hat on. He's like flipping like hard-boiled not hard-boiled, was it sunny side up eggs on this like stove. I want to play it so bad. He's so cute.
The art of this is adorable. Look at the little robot
it's so
man.
good. It's so good. You guys just need to click on it and admire it, and then also want to buy it, because I'm like, oh god, this is gonna give me I feel like if this doesn't make you cry at least once per session, you're not playing it right. This is the game that will make you cry. I feel that in my heart. But that's good. That's good. We want good cries, okay? Good cries.
Yeah.
We gatekeeping. You not a real gamer unless you cry. Where your tears at, bruh?
Where's your tears at? Do you feeling? Are you cool enough to feel feelings? All right. But yeah, that is my rebel. Hopefully we'll come by and rebel again. But yes, that's my Indiegogo. Rebel.
I just want to say this looks exactly like what I imagine like an Americanized version of Encanto would be.
I did also think of that.
Or like medieval fantasy RPG Encanto.
Oh. Which one of you adorable characters is Bruno? All right. One last thing before we go. I do love that we have like an established lore where it's like the Indiegogo side is like the communists, apparently, and they're breaking down the monarch of the Kickstarter realm. Follow us for more Kickstarter lore. But that's been us today. But please feel free to stick around and check out all of our Gen Con programming. On Mondays, you can find board games with the Brothers Merv. Join brothers Nick and Mike as they play Merv, the Heart of the Silk Road. Then on Tuesdays, we've got Kathy Paints at 8 p.m. Kathy returns with more mini painting goodness. And then, of course, on Fridays, you can find us here for TableTakes. Next week, we've got a guest host since we're losing Banzai for the month, and it makes me sad. But we've got Marcus filling in.
Yay!
So I'm super, super excited about that. I'll finally be on screen again with you, Marcus. It'll be great. And then 5 p.m. Sarah's Table for part 2 of the Savage Sisters. So don't miss that. Thank you all for checking us out. A show is nothing without its viewers. And of course, thank you to the wonderful host here, Javion, Banzai.
Sorry you couldn't be here, Peter.
Sorry, we miss you, Peter. I hope you're having fun in Gary Con. I've got FOMO like crazy. And of course, Marcus, thank you for running this ship, this wild, wild ship. And remember, if you miss any of our programming, you can check out the VODs here on Twitch or on YouTube 24 hours later. Please follow GCTV here for more of the best 4 days in gaming all year long. So right now, we're just going to go ahead and get our raid set up. And while we do that, we're just gonna give you a good old-fashioned goodbye and tell whoever we're raiding that we said hi. But thank you for watching and good day.